conversation we've had in so many different facets of life is about representation and how much that matters. Ji Young, expats, a very diverse cast there, as well as Hua and the sympathizer, and Nora as well, and Quiz Lady. Ji Young, are you seeing that we're taking steps in the right direction when it comes to representation culturally?
What was really interesting about doing this show in Hong Kong, specifically for me being Korean American, is going to Hong Kong where I don't have a cultural connection to. But there's a scene in episode 1 where a lot of the Hong Kongers try and speak to Mercy in Cantonese. And she has to explain that she's Korean. And I had that experience almost every single day. And unlike, I think Mercy was a little annoyed by it, but I thought it was really special because I grew up in the middle of the US in a very white neighborhood. And my experience growing up in America has been people assuming I don't belong before people assuming I do. And that was so unique to go to Hong Kong and for people to assume that I was from there and to be a little perplexed when I revealed that I wasn't.
There's a lot you don't know. When I came here last year, I was so lonely, and I met this family on a boat. I really liked them, especially the kids. The mother invited me out one night to help her watch them.
And what was special was also building the language. I'd love to hear about your experience with this too, but Korean is my third language. I did not grow up speaking it at home. So building that for the show, and for me and Hiri, who plays my mother, we worked with a translator to build the character, and I purposely wanted Mercy to not be the best at Korean, because I think she uses it more as a weapon than as a tool of communication. And I think to be able to be given the space to do that, especially because Lulu's Expats has maybe 6 languages in the show, she's directing a lot in languages she doesn't speak. And she was letting a lot of the actors, and like Ruby Ruiz as well, and Amlin Pardania, come in and say, hey, you know, like, this makes sense in English, but doesn't make sense in Tagalog. And it was a lot of making sure we got it right. And that's new and cool and exciting.
Well, I'll go to you, Hua. She's mentioned, you know, just talking about the languages and your experience.
And like, I guess, you know, just coming back to the idea of, you know, representing different voices, and it's that whole idea of like there's 360 degrees to a circle. And a lot of the times we're only getting about 10 of those degrees, and there's a full spectrum of perspectives that we're missing on the very same topic. And a lot of those times we're not shining a light on those very ideas. And, you know, more than just reflecting it back to us and hearing these stories that are different to us, it just gives us a bigger understanding of things that are happening every day that we're not used to seeing, that hopefully allows other people to, I don't know, reflect, rethink things. You know, hopefully for a better, more cohesive society is a great goal. It's not, you know, it's not the purpose of it, but it helps it, definitely. And so finding myself doing something like this, and then even to, again, Vietnamese isn't my first language. I had to relearn it because I didn't really speak it growing up. Cho nên đánh lòng tao, cho nên giúp con. Toàn bộ nhân sự cảnh sát mật nè, đảng quy trình hôm nay đó, tao chụp lại nó. And then, yeah, they put me into a 2-week crash course of just trying to, from like a kindergarten level, just to read and write and to spell, learn grammar. I had a basic understanding of it because I heard it from my parents, but I just never spoke it. And then building that ability to just recognize and read off the page again was, it felt like to me I was discovering a part of myself that has always been there, but I've never felt confident enough to reach in to be proud about. And so to speak those words for the first time in a certain way in a show, even to castmates, even to the language consultants, felt like, oh my God, this is a part of me that I haven't been proud to show. And in a weird way, it's like almost a part of even cultures, you know, growing up in Australia, that sometimes people aren't proud to see, but it's nice to be able to see it on TV once in a while.
I mean, I would say I'm really proud of both of your guys' project and what it does to shift like that kind of like ever-growing landscape, you know? But I think that it does come down to what you were saying, like diversity is the illusion of representation. It's the illusion, but there's no self-growth, there's no self-questioning, there's no substance, there's no material. There also isn't any experience of the self, right? You're just belong in a kind of a lineup of different people. Whereas like you're being asked to really explore in yourself, to explore in your cultures, and that could be relearning your native language, or like have been doing a story that for like Quiz Movie could have been written for any other race, right? Like we didn't want to make it specific in certain things. I think that's the full spectrum of it, and also the ability to fail, the capital risk of failing. So how much bigger is our risk versus a movie that doesn't have Asian Americans? It's just a simple movie. Why do we then, we don't want that to be taken away from us, just because we want the opportunity to fail, And I think that it just keeps growing, especially in the last 8 years since Crazy Rich Asians. It's so different now, and I think it's ultimately a really good thing.